You open your inbox for a quick check, and suddenly it's 40 minutes later. You've answered 3 low-stakes emails, bookmarked 2 long threads to read later, and the one message that actually matters is still sitting there, quietly taxing your brain. If that feels familiar, this briefing is for you.
Because the problem usually isn't volume, it's structure. Most executives are running what I'd call the default human protocol. Treat the inbox like a bottomless to-do list, skim from top to bottom, and rely on memory to track what's important. It feels active, but systemically, it's a drain.
You're listening to the Agentic Executive, Intelligence Briefings for High-Leverage Operators. I'm Adrian Cross.
And I'm Amelia Voss. Today, we're going to turn your inbox from a noisy intake bucket into something much more valuable, a decision engine.
In the next 10 minutes, we'll walk through what we call the Executive Inbox Protocol. It's a 3-move model: frame, flow, and finalize. The goal isn't inbox zero. The goal is that every minute you spend in your inbox compounds into better, faster decisions instead of shallow busyness.
Think of this as upgrading your inbox from storage to processing. Right now, for most people, everything piles into one undifferentiated place. Investor updates, travel receipts, customer fire drills, newsletter essays, and that reply all thread nobody really needs. No wonder priorities blur.
So, let's make a sharp distinction. Your inbox is not your task manager. It's not your reading list. It's not your knowledge base. When you use it as all 3, you're effectively trying to run a board meeting, a help desk, and a library out of the same room.
The Executive Inbox Protocol says your inbox is one thing, a decision surface. Messages arrive, you convert them into one of 4 outcomes. Then the result gets pushed to the right place: your calendar, your task system, your team, or your archive.
That's the strategic reframing. Now, let's get tactical with move 1, frame. Framing is a one-time decision that quietly changes how you relate to your inbox. You define what belongs there and what doesn't. For the protocol, your inbox is for 3 things: decisions, confirmations, and key signals.
Decisions are obvious: approvals, trade-offs, yes or no calls, priority choices. Confirmations are quick acknowledgments. Yes, received. Yes, we're aligned. Yes, go ahead. And key signals are the few updates that actually change how you allocate attention, like a major customer escalation or a critical metric swing.
Everything else, that's noise unless you explicitly route it. So newsletters get auto-filtered to a reading label. System notifications get summarized weekly or turned off. CC'd FYIs from your team move into a separate monitor label you review on a schedule, not in real time.
A simple framing question you can write down: does this message require a decision, a confirmation, or signal my priorities should change? If the answer is no, it should probably bypass your main inbox or be batch processed later.
Once frame is in place, we move to move 2, flow. This is the triage pass, the way you move through messages without getting stuck. In flow, every message gets one of 4 tags in your mind: decide, delegate, document, or drop.
Let's unpack those quickly. Decide means you personally should make a call. That's typically anything high leverage, high risk, or strategically ambiguous where your judgment actually matters.
Delegate means someone else can own the outcome, and you're either approving the direction or defining the success criteria. Document means this is information that should upgrade your knowledge base: meeting notes, decisions made, numbers you'll need later. And drop means no action, no storage, no guilt. You explicitly decide to let it go.
Here's where AI becomes useful, but only if it's framed as an assistant, not an autopilot. The biggest drag in flow is long threads and vague asks. So you use AI to compress and clarify before you decide which of the 4 Ds applies.
For example, you can drop something like this into your AI assistant. Summarize this email thread in 3 bullets. What's the core question? What decisions have already been made? And what specific decision is being asked of me?
Or for a messy, multi-point request, extract the distinct asks in this email, categorize each as decide, delegate, or document, and propose a 1-line response for each category. You're using the AI to reveal the structure that was implicit in the message.
The key is that AI proposes, you dispose. You still choose the D, but you don't burn working memory parsing every paragraph.
Let's connect this to a concrete scenario. Imagine a 5-email chain about a potential partnership. Without a protocol, you skim, you think, you leave it for later, and it weighs on you all day. With Flow, you run a summary, see the real ask, maybe it's, are we comfortable with these terms? Tag it as decide, and you either make the call or schedule time to think. The weight is gone because the path is explicit.
So far, we've reframed the inbox and run triage. The last move is what keeps you from living in email. Move 3, finalize.
Finalize means you don't let outcomes stay trapped in threads. For every decide, delegate, or document item, you convert it into the right downstream artifact, a calendar block, a task, or a note.
If it's a decide and it'll take more than 2 minutes of real thinking, it shouldn't live as a vague email in your head. You block time on your calendar. 30 minutes Thursday to review the partnership deck, for example. Your future self knows exactly when and where that decision will be made.
If it's delegate, you create a clear delegation packet. This is another great place for AI. Draft a delegation brief for my operations lead based on this email thread. Include context in 3 bullets, the concrete outcome we want, constraints, and a suggested timeline. You then edit for nuance and send.
For document, you're upgrading your knowledge capital. You might say to your AI, turn this email into a concise meeting summary with key decisions, owners, and due dates. Then you paste that into your note system, your CRM, or your project tool. The system holds the memory, not your brain.
And drop is simple but underrated. You decide that some things will not be tracked. You archive them. You move on. The protocol protects you from pretending you'll come back to everything.
At this point, your inbox is no longer a graveyard of half-decided threads. It's a list of active flows, things mid-transition into your real systems. The system reveals the truth. If something sits there, it's because you haven't framed it, flowed it, or finalized it yet.
A quick word on failure modes, because this is where most implementations go sideways.
First, failure mode. Living in constant refresh. You run Flow all day long. That turns email into an attention slot machine. The fix is simple. Schedule 1 or 2 processing blocks where you actually run the protocol end to end. Outside those windows, you're building, deciding, or thinking, away from the inbox.
Second failure mode, over-engineering folders and flags. If you have 19 colored stars and 12 priority labels, the system becomes another source of decision fatigue. You really only need a handful. Your main inbox, a monitor label for FYIs, a reading label for newsletters, and an archive. Patterns create power. Clutter dilutes it.
Third failure mode, letting AI create a second inbox. If you have auto-drafted messages, auto-generated summaries, and a backlog of AI notes you never read, you've just moved the problem one layer over.
To avoid that, keep one boundary in place. AI drafts, you decide. Especially for outbound communication on sensitive threads, investors, key customers, senior hires, AI can propose language, but you own the voice, the commitment, and the final send.
So, here's your action step for today.
Pick a 20 to 30 minute window. ideally not your sharpest thinking hour, and run one full session of the Executive Inbox Protocol on your current inbox. Start by framing. Quickly filter or archive anything that's not a decision, confirmation, or key signal. Then flow. For what's left, tag each as decide, delegate, document, or drop, using AI to summarize long or messy threads. Finally, finalize. Convert the real work into calendar blocks, tasks, delegation briefs, or notes. When the timer ends, you're done.
Notice how you feel afterward. The goal isn't a perfectly empty inbox. It's a lighter cognitive load and a clearer map of what actually matters this week. Precision drives agency.
If this episode helped you see your inbox differently, make your next move count. Follow or subscribe to The Agentic Executive so you don't miss future briefings on turning everyday workflows into leverage. Clarity is leverage, and your inbox is where a lot of your work first arrives. I'm Adrian Cross with Amelia Voss. Stay agentic.